Right, we pretty much cleared Sainsbury's out of Bollinger. We've got a few more people to drop gifts to. We did all the mechanics yesterday, cash. So these are some of the other people in the background that make my life easier. Don't underestimate how much difference it makes to people, and let them know you appreciate what they do for you. So let's go and hand these over. Seems the bottles of Bollinger had the desired effect. I was immediately offered a car. What have we got here? We've got a Mercedes CLK. This is the 3.2, I believe. Yeah, 3.2. I think that's the good engine, isn't it, on these? It's that sort of middle ground of being just affordable to run, but still having enough power to feel like a Mercedes. Obviously automatic, as they all are. Needed a jump start. The battery was dead on it. Now, value-wise, it's a difficult one on these. I think I've done one before. The trouble is, if I run it through Auto Trader, it won't give me a value. So luckily enough though, if we get on the older, Adrian's messaging me to let me know you can pick it up later. Luckily though, our old friend Car Vertical will give me a value. So if I get the old reg punched in, we can also have a look at the history of this car. Just check there's nothing scary going on there. While Car Vertical's doing its thing, I'll just show you a second. It's only covered where is it, 51,000 miles. It's only covered with 51,000 miles, so we can do a quick check on how that looks history wise on here. Let's get into the check. I'll go full screen for you on this, otherwise it'll be a bit hard for you to see. So we've got a report back on the Mercedes. So mileage okay, theft okay, accidents oh. Didn't tell me it was cat car. Finance, not got any finance outstanding. Right, let's have a little look, see what's going on here then. So we've got the MOT history, headlight not working, tyre walls damaged, brake pads thin, nothing major there. Tyres close to legal limit, tyres close to limit, brake pads. Oh, changed from a private registration 2016, had a private reg back to its original plate. Tyres again, seem to like leaving their worn tyres on there, don't they? Again, this is all just tyres. 2018 tyres. They must do no miles. I'll have to look at the mileage graph to be able to get away running the same tyres. Brake pads again. Oh, here we go. Suspension. 9th 2020 offside suspension arm pin. So a bit of movement in suspension arms. 10th 2021 exhaust mounting, steering gaiter, near side brake pipe corroded. Nothing outrageous for a 54 plate, to be honest. Nothing worries me major there. Yeah, nothing to the structure of the car. We've got some brake pipes that need replacing. Right, let's get down and find out what this is all about on the accident side of things. Oh, here's the mileage graph. That's nice and useful. Yeah, that's why he's got away with those tyres for so long, because the miles, he's just doing next to no miles each year. Right, damage record, 12th 2021. So not so long ago, only a year again. Category N, well at least it's category N. So that means the accident was non-structural. It didn't damage the structure of the car. It was an outer panel, like a bumper, headlights, bonnet, that kind of thing. Right, have we got any pictures from that one? Doesn't look so. Probably the car hasn't gone through a salvage auction, which means the owner probably bought the car back from the insurance company, got the repair done themselves. Written off, yeah, 13th of 12th, 2021. So the owner will have known that. Right guys, well we best get back and find out what they know about this, because it's going to quite seriously affect the value of the vehicle. I mean, I don't really personally think it should at this age, but it will. And yeah, find out what they know about it. This just is evidence once again why it's so important to do these checks before you buy a vehicle. It's even worth doing these checks on vehicles you've already bought, find out what's really going on with them. As always, massive thanks to Car Vertical. If you want to do your own check, there's a link in the description down below for you to get a 10% discount on your Car Vertical checks. Right, so that check was well worth doing because the chap had mentioned to me it was Cat N. He may well have just forgot, but obviously that would have massively, well, it will massively impact what I offer on the vehicle. So what we have to do now on the vehicle is allow for around about 25% less on the value of it being a Cat car. I have to say, we'll have a walk around it, but I've not seen anything that is obvious to me repair wise. The paint seems to be pretty even all the way around in colour, but we'll have a look around the panels. But like I say, that check is so important to do these checks before you purchase a vehicle. There can be genuine mistakes where people have bought cars and just don't know it was on the register because they didn't do a check. So you've got to make sure you do your own checks. So bodywork wise, it actually seems quite good. We've got a scuff here, but it is held to the only that bit of trim there, so I can mask around. That looks like a good rattle can fix, that one. I can mask around without having to go into the rest of the bumper. Across the front we're free of stone chips. This corner of the bumper's okay. Maybe a light scuff just there. Oh, a little bit of scuffing down there, so it might have to be corner of the bumper there. Alloy seems okay. A little bit of curbing down there. Obviously it is a bit dirty, it's a bit hard to tell. Rear arch seems okay. Alloy seems okay again there. I can't see any particular curbing, maybe a little bit. Corner of the bumper again, some light scuff in there. I don't know how much that'll polish out, but might need a little bit of paint there. It will need a little bit of paint on the corner of the bumper there. So we've got a bit of paint work to do. Either Malc will have to do that or I'll rattle can it, depending on how I am for time. That alloy seems good again. All the bodywork seems good. It's a nice colour. I think it'll clean up quite well, this. The reason it is quite so filthy is, the reason the customer says they part exchanged it is because they can't get out of where they live without a 4x4 with the weather it was the way it was last week. And this has happened to a lot of people, knee-jerk reaction. I couldn't get out from my area without a 4x4, so I go and buy one, which is a little strange because it only happens once in a blue moon, but people get worried. And obviously this being rear-wheel drive doesn't do so well in the snow. Roof seems good. We'll have a look at the interior. Classic, bless it, that chap just offered to help me to go to a garage in case I've broken down. So interior is obviously leather with a two-tone grey. It's all a bit dirty. Now we won't make a mistake as we did last time cleaning it with G101, which stripped the leather, didn't it? Those of you remember that video. It's all a bit grimy and a bit dirty, but I think actually it's all going to clean up okay because there doesn't seem to be any damage to any of it. It just seems to be dirty, as I said. So yeah, good old leather clean, and I reckon this will come out quite nicely. All the carpets seem okay, they just need a good clean, as I said. Static on this. How do I turn the thing off? There we go. Right, so the big thing with these is checking the rear windows because they can play up a bit and they're a hassle to change out. Now with the battery low they might need a reset. Sometimes they need a reset to come fully up, but they seem to be, yeah, that one you can see straight away that one's slightly off. And oh, is it? I don't know. No, it's all right, sorry, it's all right. That one, yeah, sometimes they need a reset. We learnt that on the other one. If the battery's gone flat, they don't seat 100% and they just need a factory reset, but they seem to be all right. You want to check all the electrics on these because this is the big thing for anyone buying this. Does all the electrics work? And I'm pleased to say all the electric seats, I'll probably show you better on this one. I've gone through and checked all of them and all the features seem to work. Sorry, it's the idle's going up and down because I'm hitting it with my foot. I've got great big boots on. Yeah, so like I say, good old cleaning here. I've checked all the blowers are working. You know, should be all right. Like I say, that we just need to. Oh, the butler's working as well, which is a big thing on these. The automatic butler that brings you the seat belt, that's working. So yeah, it seems to be good. I don't know about history. We need to check out about history. We need a good drive. Let's have a good drive in it. Now, obviously, I don't want to do the coolant while it's running, but I did look before I started, and the coolant was a good colour. It was the right level. Doesn't seem to be any idlers or anything down here making any noise. Nice and easy to work on. All your belts at the front here, makes life easy. Yeah, it seems to be okay. You can't check the oil, you have to do that on the dash because you can't dip it on this. Seems to be humming along nicely. Now we've got it jumped. It's nice smooth idle, no smoke at the back. So let's go for a spin, check out how it drives. Keep forgetting to pull the handbrake off on these. It takes a little while for it to show. There we go. Those handbrakes can get a bit fiddly as they get older. They need a good old yank. Right, quick spin down the end of the road. See what we think. Got it up to enough temperature now. It takes off nicely. The window up. Sorry about that. Yeah, she takes off nicely. Accelerates fine, the gear change is smooth. Steering feels good. Let's check if it's tracking one way or another. Tracking straight. Kick down. Yeah, it's a healthy engine and the gearbox is really nice, kicks down lovely. Where's my blowers? Let's get my blowers on the go a minute. Down a bit, just so we do a quick spin round. That's really nice. It feels like the other ones have had smooth. You can't tell it's changing gear, apart from when you plant your foot for that kick down. Nice, temperature staying where it should. It's a lovely drive. I think these are perfect cat buys, as in category damage, because you get your premium car even cheaper. And at this age, 2004, was it 2004, 2005? Who gives a monkeys at this kind of price range? Who gives a monkeys? Are you telling me that the other cars out there that are 25% more haven't had a non-structural repair on them? A bumper, a wing, a bonnet. You know, if you can find me a car out there that's never had a drop of paint on it for a minor prang when it's got to this age, well, I'll probably call you a liar, to be honest. Unless you've categorically owned that vehicle from new and you have been with that car every day of the week, then I'd say that you're probably wrong on the fact that it's never had paint. But no, I actually think this could make a really good buy for someone. Fantastic car to waft about in. Drives really nicely. Suspension's good, steering's good, gearbox is good, all the electrics work. Right, now we've got the interesting conversation of finding out whether our seller knows that this car was a cat car or not, because obviously my bid is going to be considerably lower. Okay, so I'm back at the unit. I have done a deal on the Mercedes. We will be seeing the Mercedes soon. Adrian and I are going to go and pick it up in a bit. I felt a little bit uncomfortable there. So the story is, what had happened was, my chap had been away for a week. One of his sales guys had done a deal on the Mercedes. The customer hadn't mentioned it was Cat N, and his sales guy didn't follow procedure and didn't do the HPI check prior to agreeing the deal. So unfortunately, he got stung, which is really unfortunate for him. I hope my chap doesn't beat him up too bad, because we all make mistakes like that. It just does show again, you know, I don't normally do HPI checks on their cars because I know they do HPI checks. But I decided to find out a little bit more like that. As you saw, I decided to try and use Car Vertical with some valuation on the car. Thought it'd be a good example to show. But then I found out that bigger issue. So, yeah. So obviously the negotiation on the price-wise, it was lower for the fact that it was a Cat N car. I didn't beat him up too badly because it's been a good year. They've had good cars for me this year. And I made some good money out of those cars. And I guess it's just Christmas and I'm feeling a little bit too soft and I didn't want his sales guy to get beat up too badly. So I didn't hit him too hard on it. I think they'll be all right on it. And I think I still got a good deal on the car. Personally, I mean, I'd want to know it was a Cat N before I bought the car, but personally to me, does it make any difference to the value of the vehicle? Not really. Like I've said time and time again, a clear HPI record does not mean the car hasn't had a prang. This is HPI clear. That doesn't mean it hasn't had a Cat N, a non-structural part replaced on it or fixed on it. I mean, you telling me you don't think this thing's ever had a bumper painted or a door dinged and replaced or a light cracked and it's going to have had it without a shadow of doubt. It's just done at a point where the car was new enough that the insurance company did the repair, or the owner just went ahead and got the repair done without reporting it to their their insurance company. So an example of the Mercedes that we're looking at, that was only done a year ago. That claim was only done a year ago. So based on the value of the vehicle, it doesn't really matter what damage there was. The insurance company were never going to fix, what was it, a 2005 car that's sub 5k? They were never going to fix it in the first place. So it doesn't matter how light the damage was, the insurance company weren't going to do it. So it probably had something really, really minor. Obviously, because it's never gone for a salvage auction and never been put up for sale as damaged, that's why the Car Vertical report wouldn't have picked up pictures of it, because Car Vertical needs to have seen it up for sale damaged at a salvage auction or something similar. But yeah, once again, though, it did save my skin. It was worth every penny, that Car Vertical, when you're buying cars. And I say, it could be possible that the seller didn't know it was Cat N. Let's be fair to him. It could be that the person part exchanging didn't know it was Cat N. It happened a year ago. How they wouldn't know, I'm not entirely sure. I'm being too generous, probably. But I guess some people don't understand how it works, that if you keep hold of the car, because if he rang the insurance company, showed them pictures, and they said, we're not going to do the repair, and they said, but we'll pay you out, and you can keep the car, then perhaps he didn't realise it had gone on the register. I'm being too generous there, aren't I, unfortunately? I think it's probably likely he did know, isn't it? So yeah, that's why I feel for the sales guy, because, you know, it's like he told me, he said the gentleman was a lovely old gentleman, he was really, really nice, and sometimes you let your guard slip. You let your guard slip when you speak to people like that, unfortunately. But anyway, I still think it's going to work out a good car. I'm still happy to get the car. I think it's in cracking condition once we give it a proper clean up, and it's going to make a really good car for someone. Retail wise, I'd put it at $2,995. I sold an nigh on identical car. If you go back from my videos, I sold a nigh on identical car, same mileage, probably less desirable engine, for $3,995, and that flew out the door. So if we take 25% off, I think that's probably a $2,995 car, full retail. I think it's worth every penny of that. If we get a new MOT on it, give it a good, clean the leather up, buff it up. But we'll get it back, we'll give it a clean up, we'll have a look at it. But yeah, that's what I think it'll be.